Today we're looking at this. This is a Marlin Model 55, the original Marlin Goose Gun. It's a bolt action 12 gauge. It's chambered for 3-inch Magnum rounds. The barrel is a full choke. From what I've read, all the original Goose Gun model has a full choke in it, so you don't want to be shooting slugs out of it. You want to stick to regular shot. I'm guessing you could probably shoot buckshot out of it. I haven't tried it. The smallest I've shot is 4-shot, which is some regular turkey hunting rounds, which is what I figured I'd use it for. I did try shooting skeet with it, but I wasn't very successful. This has a detachable magazine that holds 2 rounds, and then the gun holds 1, which makes it a 1+2 capacity. But I'll take it apart. It's a pretty simple gun. It is comically long, though. I mean, this is it sitting on the ground. This is it sitting on the ground. I'm about 5'9", so it looks sort of like a musket. But I'll zoom in. We'll take it all apart. First thing we do is make sure it's unloaded, which you can see the action's open. Then we're going to remove the magazine, which you press forward on this lever here. Magazine comes out. We need a precision tool here, which is a 1/4. And there's 1 screw forward of the magazine. We want to unscrew it. I think they anticipated this when they designed the gun, so that you could sort of take it down, and that removes the entire stock, which it comes in real handy seeing how long this gun is. It's actually too long to fit in most cars and trucks. Now the next thing to do is we're going to remove the bolt, which you move the safety in the fire position, pull the trigger, and then pull the bolt back, and it slips right out. First I'm going to show how the trigger mechanism works. Again, the gun is not loaded. Put the bolt into battery. Now this is the safety lever here, and you put it on forward as fire, back is safe. And if you can see down here in this hole here, all it does is move a block into place, which keeps the trigger from being pulled. Now in the fire position, that block's out of the way, and that allows the trigger to move up and be fired. Now the actual sear is right here, and it's just a simple sear. You have the catch coming up to the bolt, and trigger catches here, and pulling it down clears it and allows it to fire. I'm not going to be taking this apart any further. You've got 1 spring, you can see through this little inspection hole, that does tension on the trigger and the sear. And these are pressed in pieces. I'm not going to mess with it, since we can see everything on it. There's really no point. Now to remove the bolt, you pull it back, pull the trigger, and fire just like you're going to shoot it, and the bolt slides right out. The bolt is pretty simple. You've got a cocked indicator here. Originally this had red paint in there. It's sort of worn off. You can kind of still see it. There's some of it. And when that pushes back, that means it's cocked. When it's fired, that whole nub is inside. To take this apart, first thing you want to do is rotate it so the tension's off the firing pin. Next, there's a pin right here. That's the only thing holding the bolt together. You want to drive that through. Once you have that pin out, you let that catch move down to that V groove. There's not but a little bit of tension on it. You see where it bounced back probably 1/2 inch here. And you just pull it back, This is that cocking indicator here. Here's your mainspring. Both of those pieces go in the back cap of the bolt. You've got, this is your firing pin. It's pretty simple, pretty robust. You've got your cocking arm. Then you got the head of the bolt. It has this is your extractors. They just grab onto the shell. All they are is a piece of spring steel that's bent over the top. The ejector is in here on the receiver, right there. Shell coming back hits it and just kicks it out. But that's pretty much it to this gun. It's pretty simple. Reassembly is the same process but in reverse. Put the cocking handle on. That V-groove facing the back. Insert the firing pin. Take your cocking indicator inside the mainspring, back in the cap. Press the back plate on. You might have to press it forward a little bit until it gets into that, compresses that spring just a hair. And the tricky part is putting the pin back in. You may have to use a vise. I'll do it off scene in a second, but you press that through and then you drive the drift pin back in it. Drive the drift pin back in it like that. You may have to check the pin. Sometimes one end will be mushroomed a little bit. This one's probably the only time it's ever been taken apart was by me, so that's not a problem. Then you're going to need to cock it, which is just rotating it till that pin hits that little divot point or detent. Then line it up, back in, safety on. Magazine can go in it. To reassemble this, you just have that one screw. Goes into this spot right here. Just have to set the stock down on it. Make sure it all lines up. And then just tighten it. Usually I finger tighten it, and if it doesn't have any resistance, you know you have it lined up, and then finish it off with your precision tool. I don't like to over tighten it, but that's how you reassemble it. That's pretty much it. I didn't forget to mention it does have a sight post here, which is just a raised portion with a notch cut in it. The front sight's just a ball sight. It is tapped on the back for a scope, I guess. I'm not sure if there's other sights available. I'm guessing that was a scope. I've never used it for goose hunting. I tried skeet shooting it some, and I wasn't very successful at it. I think if I were to use it for hunting, the only thing I'd hunt with it was probably turkeys, which I think it would work pretty well for that. With the full choke barrel and 3 shells should be more than enough for turkey hunting. But it's pretty unique for the length of the barrel. I took it skeet shooting and had quite a bit of fun pulling it out. The joke was I could just knock the skeet out of the air with it. It sort of looks like a musket. But that's pretty much it for this video. I might be able to pattern it sometime. I don't really plan on getting rid of it. I sort of like it. It's kind of, call it my Elmer Fudd gun. Use it for rabbit hunting is the joke. That's pretty much it for this video, and I'll see you next time.